Good afternoon. I'm going to answer 8 interview type questions in the scenario of a Google interview. Now, the first question is, tell me a little bit about yourself. Actually, from a very young age, as you may know, I've traveled to a lot of cities like Brussels, Paris, Copenhagen, Chicago, and Singapore. Now, I thank my father's work. He works in pharmaceuticals. And I thank him for that because I've been able to see all over the world, and I'm really thankful. However, it was kind of difficult for me as a young boy when moving so often to make friends and adapt. It was very hard for me because people thought I was pretentious, traveling all over the world. My dad was made of money and all of that stuff, and that annoyed me a lot. It annoyed me because my dad started from nothing. He started from when he was on vacation, he was sleeping on the beach, barely even having more than a piece of bread to eat every day. Now, why would I tell you that? Well, honestly, it's just inspiring to have a dad like that and to see where he's come. He's hardworking. I haven't seen him a lot at home, which was also difficult for me. But he was a role model because he came from nothing and now he's traveling all over the world with his family. And I look up to him a lot because of what he's achieved. That has given me a grit and the willingness to succeed. Now, the second question is, what are my strengths? Well, as I've told you, I traveled all over the world because of my dad's work. And what this gave me was the ability to adapt very quickly. Although I didn't have long-term connections, I was able to adapt and to create connections very rapidly. I also have been seeing all over the world, so my intercultural communications, I think, are very good and very developed. Now, the third question is, what are my weaknesses? Now, I would say my weaknesses, for example, after high school, I went to England to start studying electronics engineering. And I've always been a fan of computers and programming and all of that. However, it completely came over my head and it was way too hard, so I let go a bit. But that didn't stop me. I was able to adapt and change, ask for help by my parents, and I was able to move, start over, not be afraid to start over, which was very difficult at the time. But I started over in France, and now I find myself in exchange in South Korea. I turned my life around and adapted very quickly. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Now, because of throughout my childhood moving so much, I think that in 5 years I wouldn't know where I will end up, in which country, but I know that I want to pursue in marketing, digital marketing, and even have a bit of technical ability to it, because I think that my technical abilities can bring some knowledge into me marketing and communicating with business partners. Am I good with dealing with change? Now, personally, I think traveling all over the world has made me very possible to adapt to change by very quickly making new friends, making connections, and adapting to this place's culture. I also think with the story I told you about starting over my life in France, I think I am not scared to recognize that I do not have the ability to do anything, and I'm able to find my strengths and work on them and locate them very precisely. Do you work well under pressure? Now, I've done rugby for almost 11 years of my life, and I've won competitions like the French Championship, Paris Championship. I've traveled to Australia because I was selected in the Barbarians. And I think these tournaments has taught me to work well under pressure. I've done that also by being part of the debate club in school. And this allowed me to get ready for intense conversations and even situations that mattered a lot. How do I make important decisions? Now, with my ability to adapt, I think I make decisions under pressure by making sure I am well taught and have all the knowledge there needs. I think also following my dad's footsteps, important decisions, you cannot not always make the right decision for everybody. But as long as you follow and you are behind your important decision, that matters a lot. Now, why would you hire me, you could say? I think because of my ability, and thanks to my dad, my ability to change and to adapt to any culture all over the world, this knowledge that it has brought me is only beneficial and can only benefit you, because wherever you put me in this department, I know that I'm going to find the resources to succeed. I think also my ability to speak 3 languages shows my grit and my willingness to attract all cultures and be able to work with literally anyone, and work with, especially if we have a Chinese or French partner, or I am even ready to learn some new languages. I am even starting to learn Spanish. I think all of my characteristics shows someone who has grit, so I